one of the best features of when you guys are underwriting. So welcome to the Geek Group underwriting call. This one's real formal. I don't do any of the introductions like on the other calls, but we're going to go straight over to the scorecard. We'll go to our check-in on the first page. We'll see what date it is. It's 4/17. So let me see if I can highlight this one. Unhighlight this one. And David, what's your two numbers?
So one property uploaded 1 and 1.
Okay.
One underwritten 1.
1, 1. Got it. Darnell, what's your two numbers?
I got 0 and 0. I found a property, but I didn't get all the information back from the broker yet. So I haven't.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Click return. There you go. Or enter, I guess it is. Let's go over to the next one. So, I know what I need to do here. This is not even do this. There we go. That makes it a little bit easier. I know you guys are looking at the original too, but just so other people can see. So scorecard, there's a scorecard. We dropped in numbers. So that leaves us with 2 properties uploaded this week and 1 property underwritten this week. If we go to the second tab, I filled in this one, number 27. That's yours, David. I put into, or you put into a folder, and I linked it here. I think this one's Tyler's. I'll let him update that next week. And I put practice on some of these. You know, I promised you guys I'd start to make some practice folders. So we've started that. And also, David Loesch also started a homework folder here. So that'll be some sample T12s. And I think when you click on these to open them, no, it goes straight in. I was thinking he was going to force us to make copies, but that must be the originals in there. Anyway, we'll do some homework folders too. I think we're getting closer to that. We'll call them H001, and then those will be the homework folders, and for practice. So, did you guys want to go over any properties that you underwrote?
I mean, we could go over the Sunrise Vista, or unless Darnell has something.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you want to open your screen and do that, David?
Sure. So this property, let me share. Okay. Okay, your entire screen. There we go. Not working. Oh, here we go. Okay, this should work. Okay, so we'll go in Team Docs. All right, so should I start with the OM or?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so actually, with full disclaimer, my daughter originally, what happened? My daughter originally underwrote the deal. And that's
good.
when
Look at that.
Yeah, she's actually really good. And that's when I had reached out to you to get the CoStar report. And certain things were, it was looking promising at first, but it was because, so I was showing her how to do a few things, and then I accidentally put the wrong number in the income. And so it looked like an amazing deal. And that's when I said, send me the CoStar report. I said, I'm going to get this one right away. Okay. And but then when I just did some checking just to make sure before we submit our LOI, I realized that it wasn't a deal. This deal has a lot of deferred maintenance. The biggest problem with the deal is that this was a mom and pop run property. And so they had a divorce. And the wife ended up getting the property, and she had the property in the ground, basically. She was self-managing the property, and it's in bad shape. And the broker knows that. After talking with the broker, spoke with him sometime yesterday, spoke with him for an hour this morning, before we decided I wasn't going to submit a LOI. So he knows that they were whispering about 90 a door. And I said, look, you guys are out of your mind at 90 a door. And he was like, yeah, you're right. And, he actually agreed with me and agreed with what I was saying because of how much deferred maintenance was there. And also the biggest problem was the books, that there was no books. According to the broker, he had told me that the owner, she basically jots everything down in a notebook with pen and paper. So they actually had to look at her pen and paper and just kind of create a quick spreadsheet. So that's why if we look at the T12, you'll see all the numbers are the same for every single month. And so when we first seen that, my daughter actually reached out to the broker at first and was like, hey, Mr. Broker, what the hell's going on here? I need the real actual financials. And the broker said, well, this is all we could get because mom and pop situation, just do your best at underwriting. If you have any questions afterwards, let us know. And so then that's when I reached out to him, and then he explained to me the situation, how she doesn't know what she's doing. They got divorced, she ran in the ground, blah, blah, blah. So they basically, all she did was have her totals. So they basically just took her totals and divided it 12 months, and that's why this all looks the same. So that's how we kind of have to underwrite it. So she was using another one, and then I just actually, I actually put it all on here, and this was a little shocking because you guys did some modifications since the last time I used the MFG template.
I just did that for the first time too, but did you click through it?
Yeah, it's actually
Loved it.
I got done in 15 minutes.
So, I did too. I loved it. And do you see the boxes up top? You can do a T12, a T3, and a T custom. TC stands for T custom. If you select 5 months, it'll underwrite it with those 5 months. You can select whatever 5, 6, 4, whatever you want, whatever number you can type in for that T custom.
This is mine. I thought that was this is mine. Yeah. So that's what. Yeah, I didn't play with the custom, but so here's what I did. So I copy and pasted the T12 in here. Yeah. I checked. So I want to make sure I did this correctly. I checked the 12 boxes.
Good.
Did the 3.
Good.
I thought the 3 would populate 2 here, but it didn't in column O. So I didn't know if I'm still supposed to do it like how I usually do it.
Yeah, the original one's a little bit messed up there. I sent some messages to David Loesch going, hey, clean up those cells. Go back to that prop 1. Some have become uncoupled there. We'll get it right. We're getting close. David's going to come out with the full version of one property in this, revamped version. So it'll be right. Even the 180s, not adding into the 381 right there, right now in this template. It's been, for some reason, broken. So we'll keep cleaning that up. But I recoupled it in mine, and it still didn't work at 180 extra. How much extra door can you charge?
About 180. Yeah, that's actually right on point. Okay. So basically, rents are about 180 below market, and according to that CoStar report, last year that area has had 16% rent growth.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that's crazy.
I think 15% is a national average.
Yeah. So so you have that plus they're below rent by 180. But again, it needs a lot of, like, all the units needs to be renovated, all new appliances. So they're actually renting them with no appliances, and then the tenant has to buy the appliances or maybe do rent a center or something to get their
That's
appliances.
Interesting. Yeah. What class is the property?
It's a C.
Yeah, that doesn't work for C tenants.
Yeah. So the initial underwriting. So here, this is right around at 14.4 a door. So the broker said we could probably renovate at $7K a door. I was thinking it's going to be more about 10, 12 a door. And then when I did some math on the appliance packages for dishwasher, fridge, stove, and microwave, would be right around 3,300. So I'm thinking 14.4 a door could cover all of that right there.
Yeah. That's that automatic formula. If the old rule of thumb was 15% So if you are going to raise rent by 180, you would divide that annually by 0.15, and it would generate the amount of money that we always just rule of thumb dropped in to get that kind of rent raise.
Okay. Well, yeah, it worked perfect because that's exactly what I was, when I was doing some math here on my notebook, it was right around this number. So that's actually perfect. And
Hey, David.
yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just curious about what you just said about the appliance package. Is that something you just, if you're doing a project, you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot, tell them what you're doing, and they give you an estimate?
Yeah, so that's what I did was, so I said, okay, they're not showing any appliances that with the units, right? So if I renovate the unit, I'm gonna put all new appliances in there. And then I said to myself, all right, on the OM, he has something, but trust but verify kind of thing. So if we look here, he has appliance packages at 135. I think it was let's look how much he said per unit. I think he said 3,000 per unit, but he was kind of spot on with that. Because then what I did is just went into my Home Depot app and I just typed in because Home Depot sells like packages, so all your appliances match, like all the same brand. And I just typed in Home Depot app appliance packages, and I changed my store to Grand Prairie, Texas, where this property is located.
Good.
I think the closest store was in Irving, so I changed it to Irving, Texas, and then I typed in appliance package just so I could make sure I have the right pricing and everything. And it came up right around 3,300 for some nice, lower end stainless. It was stainless, so it was nice, but it was still lower end. So it's affordable, cheap, and it was like, the smaller fridge that has like the freezer at the top, the one door freezer at the top, one door fridge at the bottom. So to me, I think that was perfect for this class of rental. And so I'm looking to see. He said something on here about it in the OM when I read through it. It's somewhere on here, somewhere. Oh, I think you know what I did. I think I just did 135,000 divided by 45 doors, and I think that came out to 3,000 a door or something like that. And when I did the math, when I went to Home Depot, I put the package in my cart, click checked out so I could see how much it was. It was 3,300. Now I'm sure if you're buying 45 of them, you could probably get a discount, So that's something to think about too. Maybe why it was 3, maybe he get 300 off for each package. So I don't know, but I just underwrote it at like 3,300 for each one for the appliance packages. And so it's still negative, even though, so like I said, they're whispering at $1,050,000. And then he started telling me, yeah, we're looking maybe get 3.8. We got offers in. Now, first, so one thing I realized in life is always listen to what people say and ask somebody the same question a few times during a conversation. Then you'll see if they're telling the truth or not. First, he said, we plan on getting full asking. We got somebody talking. They're gonna give us full asking, and then I started talking about everything wrong with the property in a nice way, though, being tactful. Then he started saying, well, yeah, we're probably gonna get 3.8 for it, 3.8 million, and I kept talking, and he was like, if you come in anywhere like 3.6 or above, your offer might win. Well, he said your offer might go to best and final or something like that. And then we could get you to come out here and tour. And I was like, okay. But even here, this is at 3.2. And I think my daughter had it down like mid 2 millions and it still wasn't working. It wasn't making sense.
Yeah, we probably got, a lot more expenses in there than they do, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing is that they don't have, like she's self-managing it. So she doesn't have the management in here. The management is zero. She doesn't have any money for make readies. Contracts, sir. She didn't have anything because again, it was like mom and pop. So it's really like the numbers were kind of skewed. She don't really have any numbers. Yeah. So that's the biggest problem. And then one thing, the other value add too was they have a laundry room that they're not using. So we could take advantage of that too.
Right. I don't think you've adjusted taxes yet. Theirs was like point.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't.
They did put it in the OM right on that page you were just on. Go back to the OM. And it was Yeah, right there, that one. That page over on the right. Total 2.635. So if you want to go back to your template,
635.
2635.
635.
So click there, 0.0.
0.02635. 2635.
Good. A little bit higher on the taxes should be. There we go. There it adjusted 85 at your price. Yeah. So
Is that what they said on here as well? I know they had some on a pro forma on here.
I mean, they showed the valuation at the prior valuation, right? I think
Right.
we would have to drop in the new at the new purchase price.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, they still saying year one will be 77, which is not true.
It's going to be higher than that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, year two, 83, 88. Okay.
Just out of curiosity, David, if we in the Geek group, underwriting group here, made some modifications and said, as part of your monthly subscription, you get to bring a guest into the underwriting call, would you bring your daughter on the call? Would she sit in this call?
I think she would. Yeah, she likes it. As weird as that sounds, and I say as weird as that sounds because you know me, Max. Like I can do it, but it's not like my thing.
Yeah. Well, there's certain people out there that are, a little bit nerdier and geekier, and that doesn't say anything. Nowadays you can have, the full human, and they're still nerdier and geekier somewhere in there. So,
yeah.
Well, just out of curiosity, Darnell, if it was bring a guest, would you have someone else you'd bring on the underwriting call? You don't have any kids, right? I forget your.
No, I haven't a kid. No.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids. I know my wife would not be interested. She don't like crunching numbers and all that.
She wants to be a broker, huh?
Well, I tried to make it, and Max talked me out of it. He said, "No, your wife is not that kind of person." He met my wife, and what?
Monique is a social butterfly. Oh, don't force her to look at numbers.
Wait. Your wife's name is Monique?
Yeah.
Man, stop it. That's my wife's name.
No, I didn't know that. I knew David's. I met Monique. David's Monique in Dallas at UP. Yeah. But I don't think I ever knew your wife's name, Darnell.
Yeah, I don't think I ever said it because it threw me up when I heard I heard you say Monique. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think I told her my wife's name. We talking about David's wife.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's too much. All right, so that's not bad for that property. Yeah, I thought I'm really looking forward to David Loesch's updating of our template. I'm getting excited about it. How do you want to do more, David, Selvin, or are you pretty much done at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I'm done. I think the only thing was that
you dropped in the rent roll. Looks like you dropped in the rent.
I dropped in the rent roll. The only thing I didn't put in was the comps.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't put in any comps.
Nice. Now that's going to be the old version. The new version is this new rent roll converter that David Loesch made, and I'm going to have him bury it into the tab, just like you did. Like when you go back to that tab for the T12 and open up those, how you collapsed, open up that far left one, and how it gives you the instructions right there. It's going to be the same thing inside. You can click on each of those instructions. Like if you go to paste and go drop down to it,
yeah,
a little, that'll take you to all those points as you're going through this.
So how do I get there? Because I just clicked on it.
Well, you used it now. Now that's row 1. That's that instruction.
Highlighted.
Yeah. Click on the next one. It'll highlight row 2 and put that right at the top.
Oh,
see? So It's kind of like, if you're newer, you can just keep going back to the instructions and clicking through them, and it will lead you at, as much as I guess we could be. And then even it shows you that little arrow. I love that. That's how you collapse them. And I like collapsing them too, because now that makes it out of the way.
Yeah. So I opened this up. I said, what the heck is this?
Me too. It was the first time I saw it too. But I used it just like you did. And I was like, no problem. I can do that.
Yeah, it actually helped me get done a lot quicker. I mean, a lot quicker.
So So, okay, so I know I'm not sure how late we're going tonight. We may just do this one property, and then Darnell, if you want to take this on as homework, this one, there's some templates. There's some extra copies of the template in this file folder 27 already. Just make a copy of those, put your name and number on it, and then you can practice dropping in the T12 and rent roll on this.
Okay.
And we'll make it like a homework one if you want. I'm always willing. I can always assign homework. It's an old habit of mine. But you got to be willing to go, yeah, I'll take it or not. That's the adult gets to say, no, I'm yes or no, I'm doing it or not doing it. Actually, the student does too. They say all the time whether they're doing it or not. They just may not tell you until later when you see them not doing it. But anyway,
yeah, I'm fine with it. Is it? I mean, I'm looking at it. Is it kind of self-explanatory, or do I?
I think so. Try it out. Yeah, you've
Okay.
done enough with enough of the templates that just
Okay.
read those. And there's see the directions. I literally read the directions. I literally clicked on the link and went to it, and I followed all the directions. And I'm like, okay,
Okay.
Yeah, it's
that.
really, really easy actually. Because when I opened it up, I was like, "What the heck?" And then I figured it out really quickly.
Cool. Okay, so turn off your.
I have Max. If I could just address this, if you could help me with it.
Go.
Is the IRR, where do I look at the IRR on prop 1 or the comprehensive tab?
No, it's prop 1 now. Each prop tab will have its own 10-year pro forma, and the IRR is basically working. So we've got to tweak it a little bit. So scroll down now. What do those IRRs say way down there?
This is the IRRs here?
Yeah, but that doesn't look right.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Oh, no, here, negative.
There you go.
It should be negative, which
Yeah,
is true.
there you go.
Okay.
So, and then there's a place where you can set the hold period on this too, David, which is a little bit hard to find right now. It's back under the other column where you can say how many years you're going to hold it. And so we'll get that all back into gear. Remember how we used to on the comprehensive, you'd type in a 3-year hold, a 4-year hold, a 5-year hold, and see which one gave you the best IRR. Well, that'll be back again here as soon as I can get David to put everything, Loesch that is, to put everything back together for one property. And then once that gets clean and we play around with it a little, we'll spread it back out for the 7 different properties and rolling up into the combo tab again.
So really, my last question is, so really these numbers here that are in the red here, right? Now I know they turn green when they hit a certain rule.
Yeah.
Now,
see the rule of thumb over to your right?
Yeah.
See the cash on cash? Go down. Go down.
Oh, okay.
When it hits 7% or above, it'll go green. And you can adjust that, by the way. You can change that 7 to 4 if you want to. If you're willing to do a cash on cash of 4, you could adjust that right there in the rule of thumb. And now your template will go green at 4. So
now, is this first year or is this over the entire year?
This is first year. This is first year only. This is the first year. That's the first year analysis. Then you're going to have to go back to the pro forma to see how it does over multiple years.
Okay. So we want to make sure when we're underwriting, we want to make sure this hits this number first year before we even move forward. If it's not hitting that number first year.
In general, if it starts losing in the first year, it often loses the rest, although not always. That's the argument of it loses in the first year, but then it starts to catch up and in 3, 4, 5, and now it's a good investment. So it's not always true. This one would be real difficult. You're going to have to start to rehab immediately. What's how many units are open right now? Is it at 100%?
Yeah. So right now, when I underwrote it, it was at 100%, but they're all month to month, so you can let them go whenever. And he told me this when I talked to him this morning. He said it was actually at 2 vacancies right now, and the rest are all month to month.
So this one would be hard because you're trying to raise everything all at the same time. You'd have to go through and just wholesale raise all the units existing by 100, 200 a month. And you're going to get a shock factor out of that whole management strategy, right? But you're going to need the revenue right away to pay the bills given the price. Unless you build that extra into the raise. But, I always hate doing that. So
this only makes sense if you got enough capital to get through that first year, renovate everything, and then
you'd raise an extra raise an extra 300 grand or something, right? The raise is at 1.6 right now, and the price is at 4.
Yeah.
It's probably doable if we had our own construction company, and you are awfully construction oriented given your experience in life. Do you have who would you have manage it down there though?
I'll probably go with one of the ones that because she actually, I noticed on the CoStar report, she manages one of the properties near there. The lady Kathy that most RE medical students uses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like this one. You know, you love these rundown, neglected properties. It's just the problem nowadays is they're charging top dollar for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been cool if I could have contacted her directly and implemented like a master lease type of strategy or something like that.
That is very true. Good for you on creativity. That's very true.
Yeah.
So I think this might be on your, your tickler file for following up. If it falls through, you really want to know, and you want to get a hold of that owner. Is the owner listed on the CoStar? You can go direct. Good.
Yep.
So you can go direct to the owner if this thing falls out of, who knows what's going to happen with it. It probably won't, but
yeah,
it's always a maybe.
Yeah.
Well, so, okay, turn off your screen. Let me show you. I know I do this every week and you guys get a little frustrated with it, but it's my excitement that I like this setup. What David Loesch and I are talking about for the template is just this continual idea that if you're a brand new student, you can still use the template to do simple things, but if you're more advanced, you can do the full underwriting. So in the same way that the T12 collapses there, this is the whole underwriting template collapsed. Here's your P&L, right? That's the seller's numbers. And I think we'll drop in 3 scenarios like other templates have in them. There'll be 1, 2, 3 different scenarios you can choose from. And then you can open up the different parts of this depending on if you need it or want it, right? So here's scenario 2, which you could leave that closed and just use scenario 1. Here's the financing. And so instead of scrolling right, you're just going to open. There's the summary. You don't have to scroll right anymore. There's the unit mix, right? And then as now when you're working on the unit mix, if your screen's smaller, you can collapse this and this and just do the unit mix right there.
This is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm kind of excited about this. And then here's the pro forma, right? So now you're into the pro forma mode, and I'll make sure that the hold period is right here. So you can say I want to hold it 4 years. You'll enter that there, and then it will recalculate, and you can check the IRR. So now that I know what we're looking for, that'll have this. It'll have the T12 tab like we've got, and the rent roll converter. That whole rent roll scenario like we're running right here, where you keep going back to the instructions and following each step. And then, I'm kind of off task here, but it's not back to the original. But there it is. Instructions. There it is. Where the same type of instruction will be open and close, and then you drop in that rent roll and it will clean it all up no matter what kind it's got. And so I'm eager to get that out to go, let's start using it. It'll be even, I think, an advance over this one, David, that we're used to. You just paste once and then you go through and code those columns over here and it sets it all up for you. You don't have to copy and paste into the different rows.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So,
anything to make it quicker so we can underwrite a lot more deals. I like
right.
That. Yeah.
Well, so that's all I got. Do you guys want to stay on all the way to 6:30? Are we done tonight?
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, I'm good. You do where you guys want to go.
Yeah. When will that template be ready?
I don't know. I'm on David Loesch right now going, get it faster, whatever you can do. I know now I see, because he's telling me in the beginning here, I think we can do this. I think we can do this. He did a bunch of proof of concepts like I was just showing you. And then I'm like, okay, now I want it. Let's try it. Let's get to beta version and start testing it. And then so we can try to break it a few times and see what's wrong with it, right? And then he can clean that up. But Yeah, and there might even be an option where in the beginning, this is not going to happen for another 6 months, but you could say how many properties are in the portfolio. Let's say it's 4, and then it will put out the right number of tabs for you to fill in for the 4. But that'll be later. I'll just set it up for 1 at first, and then once it's clean, I'll put it into 7, so we're back to the old, and then we'll go from there and see what the next round will be. But, anyway, do some practice with the existing one. Keep practicing on that, Darnell. Do at least your once or twice or 3 times a week. Okay. I kind of like that property, David. I love when they're all broken, run down. I wish it was a better neighborhood than a C.
Yeah,
I feel like if you roll in there and C tenants they're living a hard existence. You roll in and start dropping rent raises on them, and it's tough. So I always have like in the back of my mind how harsh that can be. Can it be implemented a little bit softer? Where tenants move out and then you raise the rent and new ones move into a cleanly rehabbed apartment. I love that because it's a new tenant, right? And sometimes the old will go, I'm opting in. I want that new one at this new price. Fine. But to just start dropping $200 rent raises on people, it's so aggressive. I know it's the times we're in, but
yeah. Only other thing about that property is the area was surrounded by a lot of industrial, which is usually I noticed is a D area, but it was labeled as a C area.
What's the I guess for lack of a better term, the usual or the most reasonable turnaround time you can expect? Say, for instance, if you come across a property that the cap rate is only a 4, would you need to be like a 6 or 7? Like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is how quickly should you expect to be able to begin to see a turnaround with the value add?
Well, so I think, unless you're just going to, like, these are all month to month. So theoretically, you could impose rent raises within 30 or 60 days, whatever the lease says / the state law is, right? Which is probably in Texas. It's only 30 days. I can't imagine the lease says 60, right? If the state's 30. So it's in 30 days, you can give notice and start to raise rents, existing rents. And given that how expensive everything is, people have nowhere to go, right?
Right.
But again, that's a very heavy-handed kind of, you're not making any friends as a management company like that. And your tenants, you kind of, this is a partnership on some level between asset management, property management, and tenants. And if everybody's deciding they don't like you, you can have some real troubles on your property, right? We've had all kinds of things, including fires, right? Where it's, what the old saying, hurt people, So for me, I don't like that heavy-handed. I like to turn the properties when people move out, and now you can fix them up. So you only have 2 to fix up right now this month, right? So it's only so quickly you can go if you're waiting for normal turnover of tenants to move out and go there. In 45 units, you'll probably get 10 the first year, maybe. Given it's a C property, people change quite a bit. So you get 10 in your first year that you rehab. So those you can probably increase rent quite a bit, maybe more than 200. Maybe you're doing it 400 or something in those areas, given the craziness. But that's a slow. You just got to build that into the raise to cover your expenses in the meantime.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me when I went to the boot camp for RA Mental. I think they said that you usually don't want any more than maybe 85, 90% occupancy. And I imagine that gives you the room to make improvements on. Well, I guess it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You don't want the occupancy to be too low, because then you're in a rush to try to fill those spaces. And then you don't want to be 100% occupancy, because then it limits the time you have to turn around the property as far as making any value adds, because like you just said, people have to move.
Yeah, and if on this property you were rehabbing 10 in the first year, it's only one a month. It's less than one a month, right? And
Right.
that's really frustrating as an asset manager. You want to see more action more quickly. You know, 2 a month, 3 a month, something, right? It's even hard to keep a contractor employed at 1 a month, right? You need to get some balance there. So this one I think would be tough. If it were 200 units, right, it might even be more attractive. Yeah, these 45 units, the 50 units get into that trouble right there. I don't know, 80 a door. They might get 80 a door, huh, David? But probably
Yeah.
more like 70. But still,
I think,
even
yeah. Ooh. There's a gym upstairs above my office, and it sound like one of them weights is gonna go through the roof and hit me in the head. Drop the weights up there.
you know how when you really lift, after you're done, you love to just throw them down on the mats, you know, boom, boom on the mats. That's what they're doing upstairs.
Probably up there going crazy. It's like, slow down. Jeez. Yeah, but yeah, I think maybe this is more like a play for somebody. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed more like a play for somebody maybe who has cash or something. Take it down with cash and then just empty the place and just fix it up and just put it right back on. You know, once they have it stabilized, and then refinance and pull their money out.
Yeah, if the economy goes the way it's going, I would say it's buy it.
Yeah.
You know, literally terminate the leases of 7 or 10, rehab them in 3 months, put it back on the market, and see if you could get your, $1 million extra from that. That's where I'd go with this one. I'd really do it. I'd do it like a single family home flip. See if I can do it in 3 months and resell it. But your commercial lender is not going to like, you'd need a bridge loan for that. So, which is probably fine. You could probably get a bridge loan. Who's your favorite lender, David?
Well, I don't have anybody as far as commercial wise.
Yeah.
But as far as single family or smaller rental units, nothing this large, but up to 20 units, there's a lender called Conventus that I like.
I met a new commercial lender at this past event that I felt like I liked. So I'm gonna maybe I can give you that information and have you. I'd be curious for you to call this lender and talk to them about this property. I don't know if you're willing to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Let me drop it in when I find it here. I'll drop it in the. I'll shoot you a text with it, or maybe I'll take a picture of the card with it. Yeah. All right. Well, anything else? Let's drop off early tonight if you guys are willing. Ask your daughter if you want to, maybe we'll talk to some people and say, do you want to bring a guest on the underwriting call? Maybe this is, I'm interested in the kids. A lot of us have kids where we're like, I wish my kids were involved in multifamily. Bringing them on an underwriting call might be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, okay. I'll talk to her about it and see maybe we could jump on the next week's call.
Okay. And I'll float it to my team too and go, hey, let's do bring a guest or bring your, I don't know, who knows? All right. You want to rate it? You want to rate the meeting? Let's do it visually. Let's just hold up the number of fingers. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right. Any reason for your 9s?
Well, for me, it was a 10, but then a 9 because we had to log off, log back in. So a 9, yeah.
Got it.
I guess I say a 9 because got some new information, but I haven't yet toyed with it. So yeah.
Do you feel like, Darnell, if you don't do some, homework through the week, the call isn't much good for you, right?
Yeah. It's like I'm just watching, but I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah. I hear you. I think that's true. I think on these kind of calls, that it's on the student to go, hey, push yourself to do that work during the week. And even if it's one property, I think it's worth keeping your brain engaged, right? Even if you're doing one, and even if you're struggling, even if it doesn't work all the way, that at least gets your brain in it. So, all right, I appreciate all that, you guys. Well, so I'm not seeing you tomorrow. I'm not seeing you Sunday. I won't see you again until Thursday of next week.
Okay.
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 So happy Easter to you guys.
Same to you.
All
You
right,
and
same to
yours.
you.
Okay. All right. See you guys. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.